Every town has its secrets, but none quite like the ones hidden in the old lockers at the edge of Millfield. Stories whispered of strange and unnerving finds, each locker a vault to someone's dark past. Intrigued by these tales, Jordan, a local history blogger, decided to investigate. Armed with a camera and a sense of foreboding, Jordan stepped into the dimly lit hallway of the storage facility. The air was thick with dust and mystery, and each door seemed to promise a story stranger than the last. As Jordan ventured deeper, the silent rows of lockers seemed to watch, holding breaths of untold stories. The first locker creaked open to reveal an array of antique dolls with ease that seemed to follow every move. Heart racing, Jordan documented each discovery, from old love letters in a rusted music box to a collection of bizarre, hand-drawn maps leading to unknown places. Each item whispered tales of love, loss, and secrets. It was in the depths of this labyrinth that Jordan stumbled upon Locker 102. Unlike the others, it was adorned with an intricate, eerie symbol, and a chill ran down Jordan's spine as the lock clicked open. You can feel comfort in storing your private belongings inside lockers and other storage devices. However, sometimes the private belongings found inside these storage devices are rather strange and disturbing. Number 10. The only time it's acceptable to keep around a headless doll is the 5 minutes between the dog ripping the head off and you discovering it. When someone stores a headless style among knives, it's most likely a problem. Robert Dewey Hoskins, who was readapted from a mental hospital in February of 2012, was convicted of threatening to murder Madonna, and that headless baby doll was found in his storage unit in Long Beach. LA Weekly reports on the 10 creepiest items found in the Madonna stalker storage unit besides the headless baby doll and dozens of knives. Hoskins kept a very scary clown mask, a sumo wrestler, baby doll, a Barbie backpack, and so much more. Number 9. A married couple with 2 kids made a horrific discovery when the mother, Mrs. Copeland, found a safe in her 10-year-old son's room. When questioned about where he got it and its contents, he simply pleaded, both parents were unable to get any info out of their son. Eventually, Mr. Copeland was able to pry the safe open and was shocked at what he found inside the head of their dog that had recently passed and was buried in their yard, was stuffed into the safe. Blood poured out of the box as Mr. Copeland screamed in horror. Their son said he loved that dog so much that he wanted to have a part of her forever. So he dug up the body, cut off its head with a tiny kitchen knife, and stuffed it in the safe that was found by the mother later on that same day. Number 8. Some people like to take their work home with them. But Dr. Michael Birkland, a former medical examiner, took his work to his storage unit in Pensacola. And when I say work, I'm talking about body parts for more than 100 people. All of his creepiness was discovered in August 2012, when some poor soul bought the contents of Dr. Birkland's unit at a storage option. It seems that Dr. Birkland's hobby included the storing of 10 brains, as well as other body parts like lungs, hearts, and tissue samples. Dr. Birkland was thrifty, as well as creepy, keeping a heart stored in the styrofoam cup. Police noted that formaldehyde was leaking from the cracked lid. The body parts, which were harvested during private autopsies performed inside funeral homes in Florida, were also found inside Tupperware containers, trash bags, and specimen cups. Interestingly, Dr. Birkland was fired from his job as a medical examiner in 2003 for failing to complete autopsy reports in a timely manner and for keeping a big backlog of cases. Number 7. Unit but in use to our self-storage in a Clearwater, Florida held something that couldn't be auctioned off on. The family fell behind on payments in January of 2012 when the storage facility manager told the family that the contents were going to be sold. The truth came out among the banana boxes and old TVs rested. The grandma's skeletal remains, authorities identified. The grandma's in bunch born on January 1st, 1900, since the woman's death in 1995. Her remains had been stored inside a painted blue coffin in a storage unit that wasn't air-conditioned for 17 years. Her remains rested inside a warm storage unit. The body had been properly prepared for burial by a funeral home in Alabama, which explains the lack of odor. Number 6. A lot of people refuse to go to public pools, and maybe this will be one more reason. An elderly man named Jacob Pastor, who swam at a public pool in Colorado, used the same locker in the changing room every time he visited. A lot of the lockers went unused as most people didn't even need to use them. And it wasn't a very crowded pool to begin with. One unfortunate day, However, perhaps he had tired himself out a little too much and opened the wrong locker. The one right next to his usual one. The skeletal remains of a human fell out from the locker, almost as if they were tackling him to the ground by the looks of it. The body that once was had been in there for years. As it was fully decomposed, it looked as though somebody had been forcefully jammed in there. Or perhaps they simply got stuck in there themselves. That mystery will remain unsolved. Number 5 imagery use her old wagon as a reformed thief who earns money on the side by unlocking safes for people. But little did he know that this job could lead to him helping solve a vile crime. A landlord contacted the lockmaster to help him bust into a safe that one of his tenants had left behind, but neither of them were prepared for what was lurking inside. Once old wagon had disabled the lock by hot wiring. The safe swung open and revealed that things would have gone very differently if he had used an acetylene torch to bust through the door, because inside as pictured they found a live grenade. Unfortunately, the live grenade was one of the more innocent items concealed within the safe's near impenetrable metal walls. The SD cards pictured were all filled with child pornography, and the journal was so depraved that old wagon wrote a thump through it. And I won't tell you what was in it so that you could actually sleep tonight. The authorities were informed of the upsetting material and all. The items pictured were confiscated to help find the perpetrator, who is believed to have been running a child pornography ring number 4 in Fort Collins, Colorado, 1987. A school locker was searched after the murder of a local girl named Peggy Trick, and the police never forgot what they found. Timothy Lee. Masters. Locker was crammed full of over 2,200 pages of violent writings and horrific drawings of mutilated bodies, with some of them resembling the scene where Hetrick was murdered. The 15-year-old pupil was found guilty at trial and sentenced to life imprisonment, but he was eventually acquitted in 2008 when advances in forensic science cleared him of acting out his sick fantasies in real life. Taggy Hate Rocks. Killer has never been caught. Number 3. When Mr. Shannon Wisnett bought a BBQ smoker from an auction storage unit, it contained a human leg. The severed limb was wrapped in tinfoil. But when police traced its owner, the lake's origins turns out to be distinctly less murderous than they were expecting. The former owner of the storage unit, Mr. John Wood, was involved in a plane crash in 2004. That meant his leg had to be amputated below the knee. He opted to keep the limb so he could be buried with it, but somehow forgot that he had put it in storage number 2 when she was refurbishing a derelict home, and Controlla discovered a wall safe hidden behind the plasterwork, convinced it might hold something of value. She called the locksmith to crack it open, but instead of riches, she was greeted with a handful of human teeth. Number 1 Reddit user, by the name of a lumberjack, found a bizarre hidden crawlspace in his house. But it was the locked safe within that contained the most spine-chilling material, the tiny place designed to fit a water heater, which carpeted and led to a mysterious black door that was locked in order to be able to sleep in the house ever again. Lumberjack broke through the door and was greeted by a black sentry safe that was looming in the corner. When the safe was opened, it contained numerous VHS that didn't seem to contain innocent home movies. No, 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 no could be found written on one of the tapes, as if that weren't bad enough. There was also a chilling note, anonymous, dripping black ink saying, "Save yourself." 8 months ago, Lumberjack told the Ready community that he had turned in the tapes to the police. Thank you for joining us on this spine-chilling adventure with Nightmare Realm 89. If these eerie tales have intrigued you, show your support by hitting that like button and subscribe for more unnerving mysteries. Do you have a spooky story of your own? Share it in the comments below. We're eager to hear from you. Stay tuned for our next video, where we'll uncover even deeper secrets of the unexplained. Until then, keep exploring the shadows with Nightmare Realm 89. Farewell, fellow mystery seekers, and remember, the realm of nightmares is always just a click away.